Okay, welcome to part 2 of my 2 favorite movies of all time. If you haven't seen part 1, I'm talking about one of my favorite movies in part 1, which is Forrest Gump. And I really suggest that you watch part 1 if you haven't seen it, and then watch this. I'm going to be continuing on. This game, we lose, but I think it was a really good game for me. I think. But that's all. I'm gonna turn this down. Hold on. I almost dropped something. Okay, so it's like the 70s. Forrest is a millionaire after he has bubblegum shrimp. Him and Lieutenant Dan are doing it big, and then Forrest's mom gets sick, and he jumps off the boat and swims to the mainland, which I never understood. He swims to his mom's rescue, basically. And, spoiler alert, again, if you haven't seen Forrest Gump, go see it before you watch this. His mom dies, unfortunately, but she was old, you know, it happens. This is really loud, huh? So, she died. By the way, he doesn't cry when she dies. And he didn't die when, he didn't die. He didn't cry when, Bubba died, or his mom. So, keep that in mind. So, Jenny ends up moving back, moving in with Forrest, and, I'm not sure for how long, but, you know, that happens, and they have sex one night, and then, oh, by the way, when they were in DC, Forrest gave Jenny the Medal of Honor, his Medal of Honor, just to keep, and she left that on the nightstand when she moved out. He was sad about that, and in his depression, he just felt like running, and so he runs to the end of his, he has a long driveway. He runs to the end of his driveway, then to the streets, and on, and he runs for about 3 years. I think that's what it is, 3 years across the country. People join him at the end when he's running. He has like a huge beard. He looks old. He meets a lot of people along the way. He has a huge group, and when he turns around, one of the people is like quiet. He's gonna say something, and he's just like, I feel tired. I want to go home, and he just walks home. And that was his running adventure. I mean, and on the way there, he meets a bunch of people that end up being famous and making stuff. Kind of. You just have to watch the movie. I'm not going to give those away. But that's like one of the most iconic parts. Like, I just felt like running. You know, he just felt like running. So, after he runs, I'm trying to think. Then he sees him on TV running, and they're all shocked. And he's telling this story to so close in getting those people off the flag. But anyway, he's telling this story on a bench. He's telling it to people as it happens, and it goes to there, and he's meeting Jenny. I can't remember if it's in Alabama or not. He's meeting Jenny somewhere, and turns out he can just run to it, so he ran to it, and there's a kid, and it's his kid, named Forrest, and it's kind of funny how she says it, like Jenny says, like, his name is Forrest, and he's like, my name's Forrest, and she's like, I named him after you, and he gets, like, all teary-eyed, and it's a nice moment in the movie. It's like one of those like happy moments, but it quickly goes downhill because you learn that Jenny, spoiler alert, Jenny has AIDS, and it's like the 80s or the 90s. It's like it's like the 80s and the 90s. And she gets really sick because she did all these drugs in the 60s and stuff, like she did like heroin, coke, like they show her doing coke, smoking weed. I'm not sure, she did heroin with some guy. They probably shared the needle, so she got AIDS, and that's pretty sad. They didn't know she had AIDS because they didn't know what AIDS was at the time, but you can pretty much put two and two together and say she has AIDS. So, Forrest takes care of her, and another spoiler alert, she dies, and he buries her under the tree they climbed when they were little. I might have left that part out, but that's one of the things they did when they were little. He buried her under there. Let me think. Hold on. So, and he cries when he's talking to her at the grave, and that was the only time he cried. He didn't cry when his mom died or when Bubba died. When Jenny died, he really liked her, and they ended up getting married. I left that part out. They ended up getting married. Lieutenant Dan got his act back together, cut his hair. He got titanium legs. He got new legs, as Forrest says. So they ended up getting married, and then she died, which sucks. And then little Forrest, he's played by the guy that's in the Sixth Sense, like the kid. So he gets on the bus, and it's the same bus driver that he had in like the 40s, and she's still the bus driver in whenever like the 80s or the 90s. So I thought that was kind of funny. So that's basically Forrest Gump in a nutshell. I left out a bunch of plot points, but you need to watch this movie. It's like an American classic. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I have it on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. Yeah, I have the collector's editions of the DVD and Blu-ray. I mean, and DVD and VHS, but I don't have it on I don't have the collector's edition on Blu-ray. And one other thing, the music in this, he meets a ton of people throughout the whole movie. Like, he meets like 3 presidents. He meets a ton of people. Like, I'll just list off. He meets Elvis. Elvis stays at his mom's house because it's like if they have such a big house, they let people stay there. So, Elvis stayed there. He meets Elvis. He meets Kennedy by playing football. He meets oh man, he meets a ton of he meets like 3, I think. When he goes to the White House, he says to Kennedy, "I have to pee," because he drank a ton of Dr. Pepper. He loves Dr. Pepper. I don't get why he didn't just like buy like Pepsi with all the money he had. But he says to Kennedy, "I have to pee." He shows his butt to a president that I still can't think of. Look how many people are right here. I don't know why. I got like 3 of them. Anyway, he meets like 3 presidents. I'm trying to think of who else he meets. He meets a ton of people. And doing a bunch of great stuff. And the music in this movie, that made me think of Elvis. The music, like, it starts off with like the 40s type of music, and it ends with like the 90s type or the 80s. Like whenever there's like a music scene, like if it's in the 60s, it's like the Beatles, or the 50s or whatever when the Beatles were. I didn't mean to switch to this. Yeah. So then it's like Fleetwood Mac when he's running. It's a bunch of stuff. He meets John Lennon. I completely forgot about that. And he says like he mentions when they die, like he was just like, and some man shot him, which was kind of sad. He meets a ton of people, and it's just like a great story, and it's just so awesome. That's basically it. I'm trying to, like, there's like a minute left, so part 2 will be up later. Part 3, my bad, this is part 2, and then I'm probably gonna take 2 parts for the next movie too. So This game, I felt like I was doing everything. Bragging a lot, but I'm sorry. Yeah. That was Forrest Gump in a nutshell. I really recommend this movie. So that was the game. We lost, but no, it was a good game for me. I liked it. It was fun. So like I said for like 100th time, if you haven't seen Forrest Gump, go see Forrest Gump. It's $5 probably at a movie store, and it's worth like I paid 50 for it. So if you enjoyed the video, do whatever you want. Watch part 1 and 2 before you watch this, and have a nice day. Thanks for watching.